couple of years down the road, you are not getting into much. You you have like your routines that you do, your standard routine. You you wake up.
Like,
You do your what you call your morning business, and then you go to work. And so your job is that you work for you actually got a job with the Lanalax Corporation. And what you do is you're calling different convenience stores to see to see what kind of hot food they've got available. Hot pizza, egg rolls or whatever, baked pretzels. You're basically cataloging like all the hot food in gas stations and convenience stores in the greater Los Angeles area. That's pretty much what you do for 8 hours a day.
how many of these people on a percentage basis would you say actually have this conversation with me?
A lot more than you'd think. Pretty much all of them.
Really?
Yeah, because you call and I guess this isn't the first time this has happened, so they've been not warned ahead of time, but told ahead of time that hey, like you might get a call from the Lanalax Corporation, their hot snack division, and they're calling to do their thing. They catalog the hot snacks. So the thing that's kind of interesting is that all you have to do is complete 5 calls, and then after that you have like the rest of your hour to do like whatever.
Okay.
So you clock in at 10 a.m. And you actually get 5 calls in a row of like very quick cooperative convenience store clerks. And so you get that done within 8 minutes. You got 52 minutes to just do whatever you want. So you've been working on a screenplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy
Okay.
where basically it's about a romance slash rivalry between a Domino's delivery driver and a Pizza Hut delivery driver. It's the forbidden romance that everyone warned them against, but they went for it anyway, you know?
What's it called?
It's called A Slice of Love.
Oh, fuck, Pat. Oh
So,
man.
so you're working on A Slice of Love for, when you have your downtime. And
Jesus Christ, Aaron.
and you get it. What? What's wrong?
What do you fucking mean what's wrong? I'm
You
writing
don't
a
like the
goddamn
title?
like I don't like that. I certainly don't. I don't like the idea that Domino's Pizza Hut is in Hatfields and McCoy's, you know,
It's it's a Hatfields McCoys and also Romeo and Juliet type of thing.
this
But
sucks.
you actually and you're putting a lot of pardon the pun love into this
Oh, it's
script.
even worse.
You've always been a sucker for a good romantic comedy.
The Holiday is probably my favorite. I used to drink
And
alone and watch that a lot.
which one is the holiday?
It's the one with Jack Black and Jude Law, Cameron Diaz, and was it Kate Winslet? Yeah, Kate Winslet, where like the uh English guy goes to America and like
Yeah.
the American guy goes to England and they fall in love with women across the pond
Okay.
over the
So
Christmas holiday.
Oh, okay, hell yeah. So you actually watched it the night before you started working on the screenplay to kind of get in, you know, the romantic comedy mood.
I'm always in the romantic comedy mood.
But you're trying to write the best romantic comedy that you can. And you're going to, you know, you're going to compare yourself to the top dogs. You're going to compare yourself to that movie, to the I'm Into
Laura
This
Ephron.
franchise.
Oh no, I can't compete. I'm into this.
So you're working on a slice of love, and I can't say you enjoy your job, but you're like you appreciate it because it gives you
Yeah.
time to work on this screenplay, you know? You're not doing also the thing that's a little strange, the only thing that you don't like about it is that you work in a skyscraper that has no windows.
Well, that's depressing. No windows at all.
None.
All right,
But
whatever.
they have like
I
on
can't
the
do this from home.
walls, they have like computer generated like pictures of what they think it might look like outside.
I worked in an office, in a room in an office that didn't have walls, and a guy brought
Yeah.
in a picture of a beach window and like put it above his computer. And he
Hell
swore that it
yeah.
made it work harder.
Yeah. And you kind of been finding that, you know, you actually you have a choice of putting up a computer generated window of whatever you want it to be.
Oh,
And
I'm doing that.
yeah, so you do that and you put up a
A Pizza
outside
Hut from the
view.
1990s. Oh, never mind.
So what it is it's the outside view of you just on a beach, you know? The waves coming towards you, but still, you know, far enough away that the waves they don't look like the forces of destruction that they actually are. They just like look like, you know, cool waves in the distance. Also on the beach is a 90s Pizza Hut.
Oh, fuck. The buffet
You know it.
with the stained glass. Man,
Extra stained.
there's nowhere else I'd rather be.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could go back to the Pizza Huts of when we were young? Beach Boys. So you're working, you know, for the Lanalax Corporation doing your tallies and writing your script. And that's pretty much that's the extent of, you know, your creative life at the moment, you know. Um you go to work, you work on this screenplay, you go home, uh, watch sports. Doesn't really matter what
Yeah.
you you always have for dinner. You always cook yourself like a hamburger with a fistful of bacon.
Oh, why? I don't want to do that. I mean, it sounds great, but also like I don't want to have a fucking hamburger and a fistful of bacon every night.
Yeah, I mean you're kind of thinking that way these days. You know that's what living in Blorp will do to you.
Oh no, fucking blorp.
Blorp is a town designed for people, usually typically men, whose lives have fallen apart. It's very cheap. There's not a lot to do, but the thing about Blorp is that there's like the one main bar. Also, so everyone, as you know, every home is on the edge of town. It's all built on the edge of town, and so there's one bar in in the downtown part of like the commerce section of Blorp. The only thing, and people do go to it. It's just that Blorp is known as, in terms of people who drink alone, it's number one in America.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus, sounds grim.
Yeah. A lot of ex-husbands live in Blorp.
A lot of weekend dads.
A lot of weekend dads. And so you go back to Blorp and you just kind of, hang out. Like I said, you watch TV. Maybe you go out and watch a movie. There is a movie theater in Blorp, but every time you go to it, you're always the only person there, and it's only like
Man.
three rows.
All right. I mean, that kind of rules for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. They don't even check your ticket when you go in. There's just like some guy sitting, at the place where the old school ticket thing is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's just a guy. He's an older guy. He's always reading a newspaper. He's always got a cup of coffee. There's probably some whiskey in there.
sure.
This guy doesn't look up. He's been through two divorces. Doesn't give a fuck if you're, going in there to see, Mission Impossible 9 or whatever. This time it's personal.
That's the new Mission Impossible. This time at Mission Impossible 9. The title is Mission Impossible 9. This time it's personal.
Yeah. So what
It's not
happens
like a
in
tagline. It's a fucking
That's the title. And so
yeah.
Mission Impossible 9, this time it's personal, is about so they've kind of run out of like stories to do with the Mission Impossible people by this point. And so Tom Cruise, he has a new script made for this new movie. And what it is it's about he's got the thing about a few years down the road is that Tom Cruise has gone a little batty by this point. He's a little
Oh,
older.
really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's gone a little
Yeah.
batty, and he has creative control. I'm pretty certain on pretty much everything he does, and
Yeah.
so he demanded that in this one he becomes a bad guy. And what he does is he finds like a borderline bad guy, more like a feeling like a touch of gray, as our friends in the dead would say. So it's about his Mission Impossible character finding his childhood bully and systematically ruining his life, and at the end killing him. And he puts up no fight physically. How could he? He's just some guy. Whereas Tom Cruise is he's this. There's this scene in the movie. The way it ends is he forces a guy out into the street and then just like shoots him in the fucking head, execution style. And everyone's like, holy shit. And he turns, and there's this kid next to him, and he looks up, and they look at each other, and then they both like take off running, and they do like a
God,
cartwheel type of flip thing, like in perfect sequence. And that's how it ends.
that scene's from The Firm.
They're bringing it back.
Totally different film.
So,
I can't believe that. So he flips Ethan Hunt flips off screen and the fucking credits roll.
yes, that's how it ends.
Jesus.
This time, yeah, Mission Impossible 9. This time it's personal. It's just him fucking with this guy. The guy's name is Conrad Kent.
Conrad.
And he was
That
definitely
bully.
he was definitely a bully, but like, as an adult, it's kind of left ambiguous whether or not he's like reformed. You know what I mean? There's a few different ways that you could view it, frankly. And that's kind of what they're hoping for, that people will watch the movie more than once and then go, oh, wow, maybe this guy wasn't as bad a guy we thought, or vice versa. It really
The
depends
thinking
on how
man's
you,
Mission Impossible.
yeah, it depends on how you view film.
Yeah, I guess.
You also, so you go home and just kind of hang out. You are struggling financially.
This job calling convenience stores from the hot snack division, it doesn't pay well.
So they actually do pay you fairly okay. It's more that you just have a lot, you're gone into a lot of debt. Part of the reason that you're living in Blorp. You, you put your heart and soul into this business called Aaron Brooks's Rock and Roll Water. And what it
Yeah.
is it's kind of like liquid death, except, it's regular water. And you call it rock and roll water because the whole thing with Liquid Death is it's all marketing. It's really smart. They basically go, they make it into, instead of you're not just drinking water, it's like a thing to be drinking water. And that's what you were trying to go for with Aaron Brooks's rock and roll water. But it, man, did not work out well. You only had
Why the
you
fuck? It
only,
sounds like that fucking name is from the 1950s. Why would anybody hear that and go, "Oh, that's cool"? Why would anybody, number one, know me, and if they did, associate me with rock and roll?
you don't think rock and roll water kind of kicks ass? I'd drink it.
I don't think Aaron Brooks is right. I don't need to know the purveyor of my water. I don't need to know that guy's name.
Well, I mean, plenty of people told you that, but you did not listen. And so Aaron
Why?
Brooks's rock and roll water, it turns out that you only, you fucked up the legal stuff too. So you only had water rights to like this certain spring for a year. And you didn't realize that. And so you had put all this money into expanding and stuff because it actually did do pretty well, to be honest with you, Aaron.
It's the stupidest fucking idea. This is the second time you've maybe run a water company from a spring.
Yeah, this is a spring that was recently found in a part of town called Monster Island. Monster Island is it's a small island that came into view about 30 years ago. And there's some pretty kind of strange people who live there, but goddamn, do they know how to get water?
This
Because it
sucks.
is
This fucking
because no,
sucks.
no, Aaron Brooks's Rock and Roll Water was a hit. It's just that your lawyer fucked up, like I said, the rights. So once word got out, everybody, like, you know, the water business is cutthroat, and people went, excuse me, behind your back, and they bought it out from under you. So you had a pretty good 6 month run, but by this point, the
Great.
your water
It sucks.
belongs
This sucks.
to.
Remember when I said this sucks and you were like, no, it was good. Yeah,
It
but it
was
sucks
good,
now.
and you had like really funny commercials for it. You had a commercial where it's like it's clearly like a group of like business people who work in an office together. Excuse me, and they are out together. They are doing karaoke. And one of the guys is like kind of this nerdy dude with like really thick glasses. And one of the guys turns to him as who's like clearly like the jock of the office, and he goes, hey, hey Bennett, what do you want to drink? Whiskey? Vodka? Maybe a cold beer? And he goes, oh no, I don't drink, just a water, please. And then it does like a record scratch, and everyone looks at him, and he goes, I mean, give me and then he puts on like really dark sunglasses and he goes, give me an Aaron Brooks rock and roll water. And everyone's like, yeah. And it goes viral because people are like, we can't tell if this is supposed to be dumb or not. Like, we can't tell if this guy like is trying to make this like kind of strange or if it just came out as weird and dumb as it did.
Man, yeah, that sounds like me.
And so, like I said, initially you had a pretty good 6 month run, but you know, now you live in
Great.
Blorp.
Great.
You do have a
This
side
fucking
hustle.
sucks.
Well, you have a side hustle. You you're a used coffin salesman,
Yeah, that doesn't exist. That's not a real thing. People aren't reselling coffins.
lightly used. What it is people sometimes will have like display. They'll have coffins for a body that they put out.
Display coffins.
Yeah, out on display. But then it's like, well, we're going to what do you call burn the body,
Cremate.
cremate it, and so what are we going to do with this fucking coffin? That's where you come in. They bring it down to Aaron Brooks's coffee or coffin and coffee center.
What?
So you sell coffins, and they're not all used coffins. Some of them are lightly used, like I said, but you also sell coffee too.
This fucking sucks, Pat. This is the stupidest thing. It's a coffin warehouse plus a coffee shop.
Yeah, dude. You've gotten really good at making coffee. It's not really
The
your
Aaron Brooks
thing.
Coffin and Coffee Center.
Yeah, coffee isn't really your thing necessarily, but you're good at making it.
This sucks. What a stupid fucking idea.
No way.
Yeah, Pat.
So your script is finally done, and you are like, hell yes, because you think like if I can get this fucking script made, I feel like you're like this is my first step to getting out of Blorp. Because to be honest with you, Aaron, Blorp is kind of a depressing place to live.
Yeah. Somebody needs to buy a slice of love.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's probably a line in the movie.
So you and you start shopping it. You actually are able to through your connections. You're able to find a an agent, a guy who specializes in selling screenplays. You don't pay him anything up front. He gets 18% of
Holy shit, that sounds like a lot.
it does sound like a lot. However, his whole thing is and you got him so you got his info from someone that you trust, someone who's like, I've done pretty good business with this guy. And so you're like, all right, like that does sound like a lot, but his whole thing is like, look, you give me this and I shop it for you. Like you don't have to do anything at all. And it's a high percentage, right? But that means
Yeah,
I'm going to
don't they
fight.
normally charge like 15 or even like that? Like 10 or
Yep.
between like 10 and 15?
He goes, yep, it's
18?
10 and 15, but with 18%, he leans closely. He goes, I am going to squeeze these fuckers dry, Aaron.
How much does he think he can get for a slice of love?
He reads it and he goes, he goes, this Aaron, he's like, Aaron, this is really funny. This feels like maybe I don't want to get your hopes up, but I feel like this could jumpstart the romantic comedy genre for a new generation because that's what the script is.
Yeah,
He's like, he goes, honestly, I bet I could get you, if not a million, right around there.
done.
He goes, also, how do you like your steak cooked, Aaron? That's what the fuck we're eating tonight, baby.
God, why
He's
is this guy
very
so
intense.
aggressive? Yeah,
That's just you because he has to be in order to,
medium rare.
he kind of like doesn't say anything for a second and he goes, good man.
Yeah,
So, um, that night you guys go out and you get probably the best steak that you've ever had in your fucking life.
yeah.
You go home, you dream of a howling void. For the next few months, this guy, he's your screenplay agent. His name is Ken Killman.
Okay.
And Ken Killman he comes back. He's like, look, they're giving us some offers, but so far they're trying to lowball us, baby. They're trying to give us 100 grand. And he goes, absolutely not.
It's a pretty big difference.
He's like, oh
It's a
yeah. He
very
goes, don't.
significant difference.
He goes, it's significant difference. He goes, yeah, it is, but don't worry. He's like, don't worry, man. This is why you're paying me the big bucks because tomorrow I'm going to go in there and I'm going to go through line by line my list of reasons why this offer not only is unacceptable, but it's a fucking insult. I'm gonna say fuck, Aaron. He goes,
You're the guy.
I say fuck a lot in these negotiations, so don't even worry. But anyway, so he's like, but yeah, so they're definitely, man, tomorrow they are going to be by the time I'm done with them, boy, they are not going to be
They're gonna feel
happy.
it.
He goes, anyway, so he is kind of playing hardball with a lot of these different you know, companies or like, you know, whatever. One day you you're going for a walk and you're not really paying attention to where you're going and you kind of realize you're like, "Oh, I'm in the restaurant district right now." The restaurant district is part of you know, LA where it's like you know, there's all these different
Trendy
restaurants you can go
spots.
to.
Yeah.
Tons of trendy spots, but also they've got some, well, we'll just call them not so trendy spots. There's like your standard Olive Garden. Really, the whole Darden family restaurant group is included.
Yeah, those places are packed all, on like a weekend. Are you kidding me?
Yep. Mhm. However, on the corner of what people call Darden Row, there's a Red Lobster.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to say that there's beef between the two. It's just that these days, Red Lobster isn't actually part of the Darden family restaurant group anymore. And recently, Red Lobster has started to refuse to honor any gift card purchased while they were under that umbrella, even though it says
Yeah.
Red Lobster on it, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what's seen that's seen as like kind of their warning shot a little bit. Look, we're not yours to boss around anymore.
I mean,
Don't
they're like
fuck
the
with us.
premier seafood restaurant in the United States.
This is a few years down the road, and Red Lobster has had a big comeback, kind of out of nowhere. Suddenly, like they were able to get really incredible deals on seafood, you know, brought in through the docks, you know.
Yeah.
Suddenly, a lot of like union workers started, started working, started eating there, you know.
Yeah. Good paychecks, large tips.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and yeah, if you work there, you're going to start making some money. And are you going to see the owner sometimes beat up a stranger? Yeah, you are. But you just turn your head, you look the other way, whatever. Nothing ever is going to happen to you. You know, you're taken care of. Every time that there's a violent outburst amongst them, you know, you get an extra $100.
It's just part of the gig.
What's happened is the Red Lobster has become infiltrated by organized crime at this point in the future. And so, like, these are the Red Lobster mobsters. And these are
Are you
guys
fucking kidding me?
that you do not want to mess with, Aaron. Also, the one big thing that they did, and this was easily the most controversial thing in Red Lobster history. The whole thing people do where they go, oh, you know, let's get one more order of rolls or whatever,
Cheddar Bay
or
biscuits.
Cheddar Bay biscuits, sorry. And then when you get them, you go, you know what? My eyes were bigger than my stomach. I'll just get these wrapped up to go. They
Yeah.
cut that shit the fuck out quick.
Man, I'm still going for it.
People do, and basically, and what happens is, if you're caught, they don't do anything initially, but if you come back, you're banned.
What? That's a
You're
ban
banned
worthy offense.
for 6 months. Yeah, because there's a big sign that says stealing Cheddar Bay biscuits.
It's not
E-
stealing. You give them away for free.
Well, hey, tell that to fucking Luigi, the fucking floor manager.
I would. No, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just cower and leave. You go, fuck, man. And just think about like another loss in my life.
you you walk outside and you see that there's two different limousines in the parking lot uh,
Okay.
of Red Lobster. One of them is jet black.
Okay.
What you imagine the same color that Odin's empty eye socket would be after he sacrificed it for, for knowledge.
Yeah, I guess. It's
And
very specific.
there is a almost gleaming white limousine as well. The color of bone in the moonlight. And there's like two groups of dudes and they're like clearly at odds with each other. You know what I mean? They're like in an
Yeah,
argument.
sounds like it.
And you're like, the hell is this about? One of them looks up and he goes, "Oh, it's Aaron Brooks, the comedian. I love this guy." And then the fight stops. And everyone goes, "Huh?" And they stop and turn and look at you. These two different organized crime units, the Red Lobster Mobsters and the Darden Crime Family. They're at odds finally. They like starting to come to blows. And then you come outside and one of them looks up and goes like, "Oh, hey, yous guys, it's that comedian, Aaron Brooks, see?" And then someone on the other team looks up and sees you, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Muggsy, I seen this guy's befores.
Oh
He's
God, this sucks.
hilarious." And then someone goes like, "Tell us a joke." What would you do?
I'd say I usually require more time and I'm a slow burn. I'm not really good in this specific kind of scenario.
So basically, the way you tell these guys apart is that one of them, they're kind of it's kind of weird because it's almost like they're mirror images of each other, where one of them wears a dark suit, the other one wears a white suit, and the colors are like 100% flipped. So
Yeah.
if they have a dark jacket on, one of them has a white jacket on. White undershirt turns to a
Yeah.
dark
I
undershirt. You know what I mean? It's
I,
completely
I
switched.
get it. One's all
And
white, one's all black.
yeah, and one of them is the Red Lobster Mobsters, and the other one is the Darden Crime Family. And the way that you can tell them apart is that the dark ones, like the dark jacket ones, they have a pin on them, and it's a red fucking lobster.
Yeah. So
So
the white suits are Darden.
yeah, the Darden Crime Family. And so they kind of look at you and they go, one of them goes, "Slow boing, eh? That's the kind of comedy I enjoy." And then someone next to him is like, "Yeah, I love it when they take a while to get to the point." And someone goes, one of the other guys goes, "Punchlines? Who needs them?"
Mhm. Yeah.
And they all just kind of go like, "Well, I got nothing to do." And everyone's like, "Yeah, let's whatever." And then they all like somehow they have a bunch of chairs brought out to the parking lot, and out of nowhere there's like beers being passed around. You know what I mean? Ice cold. The gangs are
And I
getting
guess I
along.
do a fucking impromptu set for these two fucking fast casual gangs.
And you do. You go up top, you just go, "Look, guys, I got to be honest with you. This is really fucking weird for me. And you just go. And they love it. You do
Probably very full.
very full.
Yeah, just eating it lobster.
Oh, sure, yeah. And so you do a 45-minute just impromptu set.
What?
Yeah, and they
Mm.
are laughing hysterically. By this point, they've all called their the people in their gangs to like come to see what's going on. And so by this point, the parking lot is filled, and you have a microphone, and you're standing on like a surprisingly well lit stage outside.
Yeah,
Yeah, the oh yeah, these like the Teamsters came out and like they um they like built it
so
for you
fucking erected a
behind you.
stage at the
Yeah.
goddamn parking lot
Oh yeah.
and rigged it with lights.
Oh yeah. They're very talented, if very unethical people. And so you bring these guys together. By the end of your performance, like you're basically, by the end, you just go, guys, I'm sorry, can I go now? And they just start laughing. They go, yeah, keep it going for Aaron. And someone goes, they're like, here, Aaron. They throw a beer at you, and you go, I don't drink. And when the beer gets close to you, you do this thing where you put your arm up and it like, bing, you like knock it away. It lands in the hand of like a nearby, you know, gangster, and he looks down at it and he goes like, "Thanks, Aaron." And you go, "Don't worry about it." He opens the beer, it explodes in his fucking face.
Oh no.
He's pissed, but only for like a second.
Yeah.
And
I can
so,
throw it.
so you get off stage and you realize that these two different groups, these guys who used to be one group, they used to be one gang. It used to be all Darden all the time. And then Red Lobster split off. They formed their own thing, you know? And they're realizing that listening to your comedy, they've realized that sometimes, you know, things change and you have to adapt. And if you can't adapt, then you are in the wrong game, sweetheart. And they're like, thanks, Aaron, for bringing us together. And you're like, thank you guys. And you're like, this has been a really, really weird night. You go home. You're like, that was fucking weird. Um, the Red Lobster mobsters and the Darden crime family decide to come together in friendship, and they decide to like aggressively start spreading through the restaurant, you know, section of LA. Within about a year, they've taken over like 75% of the restaurants in Los Angeles. Like coming together, they've just become so fucking powerful because they have really upped their game with their cooking as well. And so within a year, like I said, they've taken over 75% of the restaurants in LA. Within a year, they've taken over all of the West Coast as far as restaurants go. And
Jesus Christ.
yeah, and once people figure out like what brought you them together was you and your performance. One day, you go into the elevator to leave work, and when you go to the bottom and open it, there's a bunch of like foodies waiting for you, and they're like, "You son of a bitch!" and they just beat you to
You
death
fucking
with
kidding
baseball
me?
bats.
Foodies?
Yeah,
Fuck this. Food a bunch of foodies kill me in the ground floor of the building where I work. They
because the
beat me
Darden
with
crime
baseball
family,
bats.
they just got too powerful, man. And within
I just
five
did a
years, they've
stand-up comedy set.
yeah, you brought together the two most deadly
I don't
fucking
want to fucking hear it.
you
I
got the
don't
two
want to
most
fucking
deadly
hear it.
restaurant crime groups that crime syndicates that there are.
Oh well, that sucks.
They take over all of North America.
That fucking sucks. By a bunch of fucking foodies.
Yeah, they are pissed, dude.
Yeah,
The
yeah, it
last
seems
thing
like it.
that
They'd fucking beat me to death with baseball bats.
the last thing you hear is someone be like, "I really miss foie gras," and you're like, "What does that mean?" And they bash your fucking brains in.
Whatever. Fuck this. That sucks.